Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel RTV500. Today I'll be heading to Vandri Lake, which is approximately 50 to 60 kilometers one way, and I'll be riding with Clyde. He'll be on his Dominar and me of course on my Thunderbird 500. We're just going for a short spin, probably stop for breakfast somewhere and return back. Let's go. Well, if you've not heard of Vandri Lake, don't worry. I hadn't either the first time someone mentioned it to me a few years ago. It's become one of those spots that riders swear by, especially once the monsoon hits. Waterfalls, hills, the whole green carpet effect that Mumbai just doesn't get for the most of the year. I went there once, fell in love with that place, and now I make it a point to visit Vandri Lake literally every year during monsoon. But today wasn't just about the destination. It was my friend Clyde's birthday, and since the two of us are both riders at heart, there was only one way we are going to celebrate: two bikes, one road, and wherever it took us. So, in this one, I'm taking you through the entire ride start to finish, including a few things I do before every single ride that I've never actually spoken about on camera. And stick around towards the end because I want to talk about something that's got nothing to do with bikes but everything to do with why I ride in the first place. Let's get into it. Every good ride actually starts the night before, not the morning of the ride. And I'm a bit particular about this. The chain gets cleaned and lubed the night before, non-negotiable. There's nothing worse than a dry, gritty chain making that horrible noise 30 kilometers into a ride. So this is a step I follow every single time. Then I fuel up and check my tire pressure. Doesn't matter if I checked it 3 days ago, I check it again. Honestly, it's a 2-minute job that can save you a very bad day on the highway. Especially because I have to deal with tube tires, this is again non-negotiable for me. If I've got any patience left after all of this, which let's be honest, it isn't always the case, I'll give the bike a quick wipe down. Not a full wash, just enough that I'm not starting the ride on a dusty bike. By the time all of this is done, the bike is ready. The question is whether I am. Now the morning of the ride, I've got a routine, and honestly it doesn't change whether the ride is a 50 kilometers or 500 kilometers. First, brush, bathe, the basics. Sounds obvious, but there's something about starting a ride feeling actually fresh that changes your whole mood for the day. I'm not getting on the bike half awake and groggy if I can help it. Then comes the coffee, strong, black, no sugar most days. This one's non-negotiable. It's basically my ignition switch before the bike's ignition switch. Before I leave, I take a minute for a short prayer. Not just for myself, for a safe ride, and honestly for everyone else who's out there on the road. Riders or not. It's a small thing, but it centers me before I put on the helmet. Music's next. I've got a playlist I go back to for rides, and it plays through my intercom whenever I'm not using it to talk to whomever I'm riding with. There's something about the ride song hitting as the road opens up that you just can't recreate any other way. And finally, cameras and mounts sorted because I want to log my memories and look back when I'm older and cherish the good times. So today's plan was pretty simple. Meet at 7 am, wheels rolling by 7:05. Honestly, we rolled out at around 7:45. And if you've ever ridden in a group or with friends, you already know. There's always something. Someone's topping up fuel, someone forgot their gloves, someone's just standing there sipping chai, like time doesn't exist at all. 45 minutes late has basically become an unofficial start time at this point. But here's the thing, the moment those wheels actually started turning, none of that mattered anymore. Well, starting late turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The roads were practically empty, Not much traffic to fight through, no bumper to bumper nonsense, just the highway and open throttle. The weather was on our side too. Honestly, when the roads are clear and the weather's kind, that's 90% of a good ride sorted right there. This, right here, this stretch, is exactly why the delay didn't bother either of us. Some rides you remember for the destination, this one I already knew was going to be about the road itself. Every ride needs a proper break, and for us, that always means chai on the side of the road. We pulled over at a small stall along the way, nothing fancy, just a kettle, a bench, and that smell of tea leaves and ginger hitting the air. 15 to 20 minutes, that's all it takes. You stretch your legs, talk absolute nonsense, and somehow you get back on the bike more energized than when you stopped. If there's one thing I'll say to anyone planning this route, don't skip the tea stop. It's a small part of the ride, but it's the part that makes the whole thing feel unhurried. Almost immediately, you could tell why this place has become such a go to for riders during monsoon season. It was crowded, but honestly, we were expecting that. This isn't a hidden secret anymore. Vandri gets a steady stream of riders, nature lovers, and honestly, just people from the city looking to breathe some clean air for a few hours. During monsoon, this place comes alive, and everyone knows it. But even with the crowd, the moment you actually look around, it's hard to stay annoyed. Greenery is in every direction. A waterfall doing its thing right in front of you. That cool mist in the air that just instantly resets your mood. I'll be honest, I couldn't actually get into the water. Full riding gear, boots, and all isn't exactly swimwear. And I wasn't about to take a ride back home soaking wet. So this one was a look, don't touch situation for me. But even when standing there, gear on, and watching the river flow, it was one of those genuinely therapeutic moments. Sometimes you don't need to be in the experience to feel it, just being present in a place like this is enough. This is the part of riding nobody really talks about enough. It's not always about the speed or the miles. Sometimes it's just about arriving somewhere and letting the place do its work on you. Before heading back, we couldn't resist taking the bikes for one more short spin around the area. When you've got good roads and better company, you don't need much of an excuse. No real destination for this bit, just riding for the sake of riding, which, if you ask me, is honestly the purest form of what this hobby is about. We reached the spot, clicked a few videos and photos of our bike and ourselves. We also did a little bit of off-roading. Barely qualifies as off-roading, but yeah, we saw that small trail, so took our bikes in there. While riding back today with my gear still damp, I found myself thinking about something bigger than just this one trip. Why do I actually do this? Why does anyone go out of their way, wake up early, spend money on fuel and gear, just to ride to a waterfall, a beach, or any other destination and get back home? There's actually a fair bit of research on this, and it lines up with exactly what riding feels like to me. Studies on hobbies and mental well-being consistently point out a few things. People who make time for activities they genuinely enjoy tend to report lower stress levels, better mood, and stronger overall life satisfaction. Engaging in hobbies is linked to better psychological well-being. For me, that shows up in three very different ways. Riding is one, music, keyboard and guitar, that is another. There's something about sitting down after a long day and just playing with no pressure to be good at it that resets my head completely. And then there's cooking, which honestly might be the most underrated one. Figuring out a new recipe, getting the timing right, creating something you're proud of. It's creative, it's hands-on, and it demands just enough focus that you stop thinking about everything else going on in your life. And it's not just about relaxing, it's about what happens in my brain. When I'm doing something I actually love, my brain releases dopamine, the same chemical tied to motivation and pleasure. That's part of why, even on days I don't feel like starting, whether that's picking up a guitar or sitting at the keyboard or gearing up for a ride, once I actually begin, that reluctance disappears mostly very quickly. The hobby pulls me in on its own. For those few hours, I'm not thinking about work or anything that is stressing me out. I'm just present, fully in it. Whether that's a waterfall that's 100 kilometers or more away from home, a chord progression that I'm trying to nail, or a dish that's finally starting to taste right. I think that's why today mattered as much as it did. It was about carving out a few hours to do something that's just mine and getting to share it with a friend who gets it just as much as I do. If there's one thing I genuinely tell anyone watching this, find that thing for yourself. Doesn't have to be a bike, doesn't have to be a guitar, doesn't have to be cooking. It could be anything that you eventually start liking. Try something. You never know what could turn out to be your next hobby. And whatever it is, just make time for it. You'll notice the difference faster than you'd expect. So that was Mumbai to Vandri, a late start, empty roads, a crowded but beautiful destination, and a lot more reflection than I expected to end up doing on a Sunday morning ride. If you've enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've been to Vandri yourself. Or if you've got a route you think I should try next, I read every single one. Also, come back and let me know if you have any hobbies. It will be a strong testament to others and will give them ideas on what to explore. Until the next ride, stay safe and I'll see you on the road. Bye bye.